Bumming with Bob. Let's have a few brews. We'll have some fun with the bum wine crew. So kick your feet up and grab you a beer. 'Cause damn, man, I'm glad that you're here.
All right. This is Bumwine Bob welcoming you to an all-new edition of Bumming with Bobcat. And joining the show this week, she is your friendly neighborhood porn star. She is an AVN Award-nominated MILF and author. The lovely and talented Sara St Clair is joining the show. Sara, how are you today?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast here. I know you're a very, very busy person over there. You have a lot of things going on. So it's great to have you on here. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I cracked open one little drink beforehand. I have another one on hand here because I was thinking of what I wanted to drink tonight, and I recorded. Now, I'm all over the place. I'm usually, if it's on a regular basis, I'm usually a beer person. But a lot of times, I lean more towards the bottom shelf when it comes to alcohol and wine. So, before I get into what I have here, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking some random Pinot Grigio.
hey, random is fine. It's like, what do I have on the shelf over here? Okay, I'll just grab this and pour it. Like, all right, is it wine? Then we're good.
I love when people are like, oh yeah, no, that wine's drinkable. It's like, every wine is drinkable, man.
Exactly. I am not one to judge. I am not one to be picky. And I'm like, okay, is it wine? Is it got alcohol in it? I'll take it. I'm good with that. No complaints from me.
Exactly.
So I was going through my fridge, and I always have a nice stock full of everything around. And it's probably been about 2 months ago at this point. I recorded a podcast. I was a guest on a show called The Grocery Gamblers with a couple guys that I know. And they kind of go out to the store called the Grocery Outlet, and they find cheap stuff, and then they try it out. So
that's awesome.
So we had an idea for a little podcast together where we were going to crack open some drinks. And we did what I'm drinking here right now. It is the Finnish long drink, which is the traditional citrus, the gin with natural grapefruit and juniper berry flavors and carbonation. So a little more high class, but it's really good, really refreshing. It's funny because
that actually sounds delicious.
It is. It tastes really close to like a Sprite with alcohol, so you can't go wrong.
Perfect.
So we cracked open that, and then also what I have here, which was what we did as well, which is the Crown Royal Whiskey Lemonade. So this is a canned...
Oh God, that sounds horrible.
So we did like this little companion piece, and like I said, by the time this podcast releases, hopefully the episode I did with those guys is out, because like I said, it's been a couple months, and they've been working. He's like, my friend Pete, who does the show, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've just been busy. I'm editing." So I'm like,
hey,
by the time people hear this, hopefully you can go and listen to that companion piece, because what we also did, we threw in, which I'm not drinking here tonight because I didn't want to get too crazy. We also threw in. We each had a different variety of Four Loko as well.
Lord.
Now, have you gone down the Four Loko road before?
I mean, God, back when I was like 19.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, quote, 21.
Yeah. For all intents and purposes of legal drinking age. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to crack open the whiskey lemonade. Well, because I did try it before, but it's been a couple months since I actually had it. So I'll see this time around how it actually is.
I hope it's fantastic.
And it's not bad. It's not bad. It was more of a summertime drink. I mean, now that we've gone past that, we're heading towards the holiday season now. But for those people out there that are big Crown Royal fans, it's not a bad choice. I mean, you have to be a fan of it.
My usual liquor go-to is vodka lemonade. So anything lemonade is usually awesome.
Yeah, so this is a whiskey lemonade. So it's good.
A little bit more sharp, but yeah.
Yeah, it'll get the job. I mean, this is a 7% ABV on the Crown Royal whiskey lemonade over here, so not a bad choice, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, if you have the options there for you, I can tell already you're not one that's really going to turn down anything. It's like,
No, no,
okay, what do we have here? Okay, it's the wine or this or like, oh, okay, I'll take it. Just
exactly.
fill my cup and I'm good.
We are all here to have drinks, chill out, and have fun.
Exactly, and you have a lot of fun in your day job here. I mean,
Yes.
for people who might not know you, I mean, I know you've been in the adult industry for quite a while now, and I didn't realize even before that you actually got into just the nude modeling world since you were 18. So you've been in this genre for some time. I mean, how did you get into it? Was this something that you had always kind of like, some people they know from a teenage age, they're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do nude modeling or become a porn star.
Hilarious story. So I was 14 years old. I was working at some restaurant, just like in the back doing food prep, whatever. And this one bartender was like, "Oh my God, this girl I went to high school with is an escort now." And 14-year-old me, I'm like, "What's an escort?" And the owner, he's like, "She gets paid to go on dates." I'm like, "That sounds pretty cool." And then somebody else chimed in. They're like, "No, like just like have sex with them." I'm like, "She's getting paid though. Like, what's wrong with that? That sounds awesome still. Like, you're not hindering me. This sounds great." So literally, since I learned what sex work is, I wanted to do it. And that is a true story.
What you heard? You're like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
like,
you heard, you're like, and you're like, wait,
why this girl's talking shit? I'm like, this sounds great. She gets to go out with guys on dates and have sex and gets paid. What?
You're like, okay, where do I sign up? You're like, okay, I have to wait a few years until I can go down this. I have to wait. Okay, I have to buy my time for a few more years, and I can go down that road. Because it's funny because a lot of people, either they know from like a teenage age that they want to go down this road, or it's not till they're older that they decide, you know what, I'm going to take that plunge and get into the adult industry. So now, was it pretty much like once you turned 18, did you then go into like the escorting and that type of work like right away?
So at 18, I was still stripping. I started working in a massage parlor. Wink, wink.
Yeah. It's all legit, all legitimate.
Exactly. Started my life, briefly got married, whatever. And then from there, I went back to nude modeling, but then I got into fetish modeling. And there's videoing with fetish modeling. So then my natural brain was like, well, why not just do porn if we're already naked on video? And that's where we are now.
Well, and that's a lot of people too. They'll say that, you know what, I've already done nude modeling. People have seen me naked. If you enjoy, having sex and just I call it for fun,
snowball effect.
Yeah, it's just like
one thing, and then it just like snowballs into one thing, another thing, and the next thing you know, you're taking it in all your holes.
Right, and it's being recorded. People are there watching you. You're being directed on how to take it, and going through everything. Because a lot of people always say, okay, well, I started out stripping. Okay, then it's escorting or nude modeling, and then the light bulb goes off, or somebody says, you can just make a lot more money if you just, went, literally, balls to the wall and just. Said just start having sex on film and doing porn and, getting paid for it. It's like you like having sex to begin with, so why not get paid to do it? It makes sense.
What's wrong? I still don't understand what's wrong with it. Like, I get to fuck these hot dudes with huge dicks and get paid for it. Like, I would be hunting this down on normal Saturday anyways.
So
now
why
it's
not?
Provided to me. Like, I'm getting paid also to show up and it's already there. Great.
Yeah, it's an added bonus for you to say, okay, I made some money and had fun, and okay, now on to the next one.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, so you go down this road, and now I guess what it was in. So I mean, it's only been not too long. I guess what it was 2016 when you actually made that big jump into the adult industry.
Sara St Clair, yes.
Okay.
So when I was 18, I actually did a few movies under a different name that I don't want to share because I was totally different.
Okay, all right. Hey, it's
yeah,
fine.
no,
Keep it on the down low.
but yeah, no. So like, I did technically start when I was 18, if you will.
Okay.
But like whenever I get asked, for all intents and purpose, 2016.
Yeah, for who you are now and
Yes.
what people know you as.
Yep.
It was in 2016 when that was who you were.
Yes.
I mean, everybody had to get started somewhere, and if a different stage name, like whatever, you got to earn your stripes, and you have to.
Yeah.
You got to get the put in, like, I know you're a big sports fan and the big football fan, and you got to get those reps in. You gotta get it going.
Indeed. And I'm getting all the stripes year after year, more and more stripes.
So, hey, the more you do, they always say that the better you get at it, right? I mean, it's practice makes perfect.
Yes. 10,000 hours to be a master in something. So I would say that I'm a master of sex.
Okay. So I mean, once you can master that, then you can move on to another aspect of it, which now you are writing about your escapades in sex, and I realize just within days, literally, you have a book coming out related to your adventures in the adult industry, which has to be exciting. I mean, how long did it? Let me back up for a second. Now, is this something? I know you've always been into writing. You have a degree in journalism, so you've always been into that world. Have you done any other, like, fully publicized writing before, or is this really your first, like, quote unquote book?
First book, yeah. I mean, I've done a couple blogs. I was published in X-Biz's magazine during the pandemic. So I love writing. I try to put myself out as much as I can. But yes, this is my first book. And since I first started in this industry, oh my God. You know what's really sad? I've been doing this almost longer than I've not been doing this.
It goes quick, right? I mean, it's.
I'm turning 31, and I got started at 18. So I'm coming up on that point where I would have been a sex worker longer than I've not been a sex worker.
Right.
And that's really fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, I was going to say that blows your mind. You're like, wait, okay, so I didn't do it for the first 18 years of my life, and now since I turned 18, I'm going to be 31. And you're like,
oh, it's catching up. Oh my God.
Shit, yeah.
But yeah, no. So I've always loved writing. So when I first got into this, I joked about it. I'm like, I'm gonna get a bunch of stories and write a book one day. And then early 20s came along. I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna wait until like my late 20s until like I've gotten all the stories. Late 20s came and went, and then this last year, another author messaged me. She's like, hey, I think you have a really cool story. And I'm like, well, I've been thinking about this for the last 10 years. So I've already had journal entries, like my own chapters and whatnot. So her and I collaborated, and it's going to come out on Amazon December 1st. It's only been like 12 years in the making.
Yeah, well, that means it's going to be good when you can take that long to to write it and perfect it. And I mean, put in all the stories.
That, or honestly, just laziness, if we're being honest. Let's not hype it up too much. You're putting really, really high expectations out there.
Well, trust me, I know how it is. But it's like, okay, you have this idea, you want to do something years ago, and then it kind of gets put on the back burner.
Right. It had to be done right. And at the time, I didn't think that I could do it right.
Well, right. You want to, if you're going to take that leap and really go and do a book and have it publicized with your name on it, exactly. You don't want to have some half-assed.
Yes,
book
that's the
out
biggest
there
thing.
Related to it.
Well, like, if it's just my story, it has to be perfect.
Right. Now I'm assuming that this is all. I guess what's the peak, behind the curtain about the book? Is it just stories about your work and different incidents you've been into?
Yes. So I hate books that are very long that you have to like follow start to finish. So my book is a collection of like, I think it's 7 different short stories about the most bizarre things that would blow your mind that's happened to me in my life as a sex worker. Such as like having a client, meeting his wife, they got divorced, and her new husband is my client. Stuff like that.
So it's all the stories that go into
Yeah,
your
to just, like,
escapades, pretty
yes.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like this isn't like a I'm Sara St Clair, this is how I got here, this is my story. This is just a really fun book about like the things that you see as a sex worker day to day.
A little behind the scenes of what really goes on when after the clients leave, or even while they're there, and you're just talking about it and saying, okay, well, this is what happened. Well, this guy wanted to do this, or
exactly. So yeah, no, it's been really fun, and also too, just writing it is so mind blowing to think like, oh my god, like I was 23. How did I even let that happen, girl? Are you okay? Like recalling stuff that I got myself into is just insane now.
Right, you look back at it, you're like, well, this sounded like a good idea at the time, and good thing you survived. You're still here to talk about it.
Like,
and then you look back,
leaving the strip club with a stranger. No one knows where I'm at. I don't know what this guy's real name is. I'm like, Sara, you could have died.
This could have went really, really bad. And especially with what you do now, mainly because I was looking through on your website, and I see you do all these meets and everything with you. Now, do you focus more on the personal private meets, or are you focusing more on the porn side of things, or is it kind of like a combination of the two?
So I'm actually recentering. I spent the last few years like primarily doing meetups and stuff. So this last year, I've really, really been trying to get back into shooting because I feel like it's something that I really enjoy doing, and I just lost sight of what I liked. So this last 6 months, I've been trying to shoot a ton.
Okay, so I mean, is that kind of, you want to focus more on that side of things going forward? I mean,
yeah, no, I think it's more of like a rebrand, like put a book out, like get back on the video screen again, start showing up in Pornhub every day,
Yeah, like I said, once your name gets out there more and people will start searching more about you, then they start looking up the videos, and they like, oh wow, I like her. I want to see more of her. Then they subscribe to you. They subscribe to your website, everything. They buy videos, and then they start waiting and anticipating. Okay, when's the next video coming out? When's that going to be released? Okay, when just content driven is everything these days, and you know how it is. You have to constantly keep putting stuff out there to keep things fresh, to keep your name out there and keep you in the news cycle. Otherwise, if you don't put anything out, then people just kind of forget about you and move on.
Yes, absolutely. And like even coming back and shooting again, that's a problem that I had. It was like I've been out of it for like 2.5-ish years. Now that I'm like, hey guys, I'm back. I'm in town every 6 weeks. Let's shoot. It's like people forgot who I was.
Like, who are you again? You're back. Oh yeah, I know you.
It's been a lot of having to do my own homework, like reach out to people on Twitter and be like, hey, remember I shot for you a few years ago? Like having to like remind people, and that sucks.
Right. You want people coming to you and asking you, say, hey, do you want to do a shoot with us? Do you want to do this? You want to do that? You don't want to be going after people and trying to track them down. And I think that's where you'll get to once you get back out there and do more videos and do more content. Then people start, slide into your DMs and saying, hey, can we work together on a project or something? And then next thing you know, you're on that, the front page of, Pornhub, and people are like, oh, okay, I like her.
Yeah, no, I mean, God, forever ago, my former volleyball coach, she told me, she's like, it's the squeaky tire that gets the oil first. And she told me that at such an impressionable age that's always stuck with me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to look at it as I'm eating my pride. I'm just being the squeaky wheel.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to be your own biggest cheerleader to go out there and get your name going, to just that extra little push to tell people that, hey, I'm open to working with you if you want to do it. And then people have so much pride and they're just like too good now. So it's like, it doesn't take much just to humble yourself down a little bit. Right. They're just sitting there like, I'm going to sit back and wait. I'll wait for the phone to ring. They'll call me. Don't worry. Then weeks go by. Nobody hears anything. And while you're out there saying, hey, I'm going to be in Los Angeles, I'm going to be in New York, who wants to shoot something? And then people are like, hey, yeah, we'll work with you. We'll do some shoots, and next thing you know, you got work, and next thing you know, that means that people are looking at you, and then the money comes in, which is the point of it in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to see the whole process for different performers, and with how many I've talked to over the years on my podcast and just in general, and just seeing where people start and where they are and how they tackle their own business is interesting, because no one performer is the same in the industry.
For sure. Oh my gosh,
everybody goes down their own path with everything. So it's interesting to see, and like you said, and with the whole taboo of the porn world, which is it's always like it's going away, but then it's not. With people being more accepting of it, and I think, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it is more accepted these days, but it's still like on like the blacklist of things too that people don't want to really talk about.
Yeah,
but it seems like it gets better at times, but then it like takes one step forward, two steps back a lot.
for sure. No, and also for me, I mean, my home base is in Alabama, so like I am in the heart of the Bible Belt. Like all these families will like watch something about like some stripper like on sitcom at night, but then they meet one in real life, and it's like, oh my god, no.
Yeah, which makes no sense. I mean, it's like we're all normal people. It's no different. What you do for work and what I do for work, that doesn't matter. I mean, nobody is pushing your beliefs on them. It's like,
But
look,
yeah, no, it's like no matter how mainstream it gets, it's never going to be like full mainstream, unfortunately.
yeah, but hey, as long as you have fun doing your own thing,
Exactly.
that's really all that matters with it. And if you can get out there and start writing about it, and then telling stories and educating people about it more, there's always that one person who might pick up your book and say, hey, this is something I want to do, after reading your stories. Or kind of like you said, when you were 14 and you hear this, you're like, oh, what's this, escorting? You're like, oh, I like that. That sounds like fun. I want to do that. It's like, okay, then they go down that road with everything. So it's interesting to see where people end up in their journey with it, and especially with you and how you've gone along. And now I know you've been nominated for some AVN awards. I mean, do you think you get more content out there? You think you can kind of push it there and maybe get to the become the award winning MILF?
We will see. I mean, I don't live in LA, so to be like one of like the big name girls, I feel like you have to be out there all the time. So I hope so one day, but I'm not going to hold my breath either. I'm just going to enjoy myself.
Right. As long as you're having fun with it, that's that's what matters.
I don't need an award to tell me that I'm having a great time.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people these days are focused more on, doing it for them, and not as maybe some of the older porn stars back, 10, 20 years ago would be more focused on the awards and hitting that big mainstream publicity with it. There, a lot more these days are more focused on themselves and just doing what they want to do. And if they get the recognition for it, then great, that's perfect. But not getting too crazy saying, oh, I need to be number one and I got to be the most downloaded or have the most hits or most views on my videos. It's just, if it happens, great. If not, just go with the flow.
Yeah. And also too, that's just because like there's not any real porn stars anymore. Like there's no like celebrity named porn stars.
Yeah. And I think a lot, do you think that is just because of the influx now of a lot more talent in it, and with like the push of the OnlyFans and things like that?
Say, OnlyFans, all the streaming sites. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like going out and going to the video store and going into the back room and renting the DVDs or the VHS tapes anymore. It's, you just can stream anything online. And
not only that, but too, like accessibility of anybody to upload onto like say Pornhub or whatever. Like your couple neighbors across the street could be wearing masks and uploading it. And you would never know.
Right, exactly. It's so easy to
anybody can do it. So there's never going to be a big porn star ever again, I don't think.
Yeah. There's so many out there. Like I said, with that influx of OnlyFans from a couple years ago, when the pandemic hit, and it was like, okay, nobody can do anything. Oh, yeah. Everybody signs up for OnlyFans, and hey, and that's great. There's no problem with that. If you can sign up there and people will join it and support you, then go for it. I mean, it's
I know.
Perfect. It's perfect.
I always joke with all my vanilla friends. I'm like, I was on OnlyFans before it was cool.
Right. You have a lot of the OGs of the OnlyFans that I've taught you. It's like, look, people are like, we were doing that before it was the big boom. It's like
exactly.
Like, well, come on, people, get with the times. We were doing this before it was the cool thing.
10% that OnlyFans take, they shake 5% for people who joined pre-pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. You should get like it's like
that idea.
Yes, it's like the legacy. You're the original members. You get the discounts on it.
Yes.
See, you got that OnlyFans. Listen to Sara. She's got the ideas here. Make them happy. If you want to keep the original content creators on your site, then that's what you need to do. You need to you got to cut down that cut that they're taking with it, because I know a lot of people are starting to move away from OnlyFans because of the cut that they take, and it's like, look, trying to find other ways to put their content out there, because it's like, look, nobody wants that 10% cut that they're taking on OnlyFans. If there's a way to limit that down, people are going to try to go to the other site that will give them more return on what they're uploading over there. So it's interesting to see.
Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not well read into this enough to like make an actual point, but I feel like there's not going to be that big of a margin though, just because like any adult-based website, the credit card processors have to take out X amount, and being adult, it's always so high that I don't really think there would even be much wiggle room. Because I was about to say, like, remember back, like, say, like 2000s when everyone had like their like sarastclair.com, and you would upload your credit card information like
right
the website. So I mean, OnlyFans is basically doing the same thing without it being as hard.
Yeah, you're not having to go through the whole process of creating your own full website and developing that. They're doing it for you, saying, okay, here, upload your content.
Yeah, no, but between that and like, I just don't think they could make it cheaper if possible. Like, I don't know, like a lot of girls bitch about it, but I'm like, I would rather pay for the convenience and how easy it is,
Right. And it depends on how much money you're making off of it too. Sure. I mean, how many people you have that are subscribing to you. And I mean, for people that don't have that many, and when OnlyFans takes out that cut, then that's a big chunk of your revenue right there is taken away. Right out the gate. Now, if you have a lot more subscribers and they take their cut, then there's more money to you. So I mean, it's more incentive for people to get out there and promote it and say, hey, subscribe, because the more subscribers you get, the more money coming in.
No, for sure.
You people out there know how it works. We don't need to go down here and break down these.
Yeah,
we're not an economics podcast. We're here to have some drinks and talk about everything else. So don't come to me for any business advice. I mean, I can try, but I'll put a disclaimer saying, do not take this as serious. I'm drinking Crown Royal whiskey lemonade and the Finnish long drink over here. So I mean, it's
meanwhile I'm just over here selling pictures of my butthole online, so I would not take business advice.
But hey, you're making money though, so you're doing something right. If people want to see your butthole, then more power to you.
Yes, then they should subscribe to onlyfans.com/Sara St Clair XXX.
See, there you go. See, she's got like you covered right. I know she's got you covered right there. She came prepared for this one. Now we started talking in the beginning, about some of your go-to drinks and stuff now. Is there anything that's on your like no drink list, like things that you won't touch? Anything that you've had some bad experiences with?
There are two of those. So there's Jägermeister that I can't do since when I was just out of high school. I went to a Mushroomhead concert and did about 12 shots of Jaeger that night. And might have fucked several members of the band afterward.
That you could, I gotta give you credit after doing, if it was like 12 shots of Jägermeister and you could still be coherent enough to, fuck that many members of the the band.
Whether I was coherent or not, I don't know.
I guess it still happened, I guess. So
it's a rock show, anything goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so that and tequila. Tequila just makes me a fucking bitch.
Okay.
It's
So
not good.
No, it's one of those, because usually a lot of people with the tequila, that's when the clothes come off and they have a lot more fun for you. That's like you're gonna just go out there and start trying to fight people at that point.
Well, I think it's opposite because I'm just naturally wanting to get naked and flirt. So when I drink what normal people would, it just has the adverse effect on me.
It's the opposite, yeah.
Yes.
Because like most people and most girls are like, oh yeah, I can't drink tequila because then, I start getting, flirty and frisky. Then the clothes come off, and you're like, nope, that's me on a normal day. Then once I start drinking this, then I start getting upset and, just stay away from me, leave me alone. Exactly. So, okay, no Jägermeister and no tequila for you. Now, can you drink tequila if it's like a mixed drink with tequila? Is that okay? Or is it just anything tequila? You see it on the menu, you're like, no, I'll pass on that.
Honestly, I just don't really love the taste of tequila either. So like sipping a margarita, it just, I don't know. I just don't think it tastes good.
Okay. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. You can stick to whatever else you want. You want to stick to your wine over there. I mean, what else? What else are your go-tos? If it's just wine or like other mixed drinks that you're fans of.
Depending on the day, it's either Jack and Diet or vodka lemonade.
Okay.
Depending on how aggressive I'm feeling that day.
How crazy do I want to get? That's pretty much you have to check your surroundings.
But yeah, no, whenever I do shots, it's always Jack Daniels.
Okay, you can't go wrong with that. So, I like a nice Jack and Coke, or the big Captain Morgan, Captain and Coke, something like that. You can't go wrong with that. It's like the old reliable when you're out. It's okay. Well, what do you want? I'm not really in the mood for a beer or wine or anything like that. There's okay. Well, some sort of a mixed drink, but not some big fancy extravagant drink on the menu with like 8 different alcohols and stuff, which is like, just give me a Jack and Coke. That's fine.
Exactly.
Sometimes simple is good sometimes. I mean for you, and you don't always keep things simple in your work, so you have your drink and that's the simple way of it. Because I was going to say, when it comes to your work, is there anything that, well, I guess I was going to say, when it comes to simplicity, I know you deal with a lot of people, and especially when you meet clients, is there anything on that's been really outlandish or anything off the wall that somebody asked you to do that? Was it anything like illegal or anything like that? Something outlandish that you were asked and kind of went along with for them?
Okay, so the weirdest thing I had was actually before I really even got so far down like the rabbit hole of sex work. Like, it had to been like, I don't know, 2013, 14-ish, and it was still when Craigslist was around, and someone posted an ad looking for girls to buy panties from. So little me responds, whatever. So I ended up meeting up with this guy, give my panties once a week. One time, and this is the weirdest fucking thing that's ever happened. I get in this guy's car to give him my panties because we met in like an outdoor mall parking lot. Like,
Okay.
nothing discreet. So I get this guy's car, and he's like, yeah, no, you look really good in pink. I'm like, oh, thank you, whatever. He goes, next time when I see you, can you pretend to be my 13-year-old niece? And I'm like, sure, buddy. And I never talked to him again. Oh,
like, all right, okay, thanks. Yeah, okay, walk away slowly. All right. Okay, yeah, we'll be in touch. And then nope, that's it. We're done here.
yeah, no, that was so weird.
Give you a lot of critics. I'm sure you've run into a lot of interesting characters
colorful
in
people.
yeah. Which I'm sure you tell all about in your new book that's coming out December 1st.
Yes, romance costs extra.
So now, is there going to be some more books in the future for you? Is this something you want to kind of keep up with and just keep
I certainly hope
turning them out? And
exactly. I mean, I've had a lot of experiences, so if I have them, I might as well share them.
Yeah, if people want to hear about it and just the little teases of what you've come across just in chatting with you for the few minutes that we've been talking here today, I can just imagine if you really have the time to sit down and write about them and really go into detail of these experiences, that people will probably be reading it and shaking their head and be like, interesting. I mean, probably some ups and downs for you in the process, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, now I know as well, which one thing I saw about you that you're a big golfer too. You went to Ohio State on a golf scholarship.
I did.
So you're out there. Are you still out there hitting the links on a regular basis?
Unfortunately, not so much on a regular basis, but I try to get out as much as I can.
Yeah. See, the only time I'm out on a golf course is if there's drinking involved, and then that's I'm not a golfer at all. I've never been good.
Yeah, so I grew up in Ohio, where you could really only golf from like April until October. So being in the South, it's so much fun because I can do it almost year round.
Yeah, that's perfect day because I'm up in the Northeast, and here now it's November, and it's golfing season for most people is pretty much over.
Oh, for sure.
At this point there, but yeah, I'm not one. I have some friends that are big into golfing. I could never get into it. The closest I get to is if I get dragged along for like somebody's birthday or something where it's like, oh yeah, we're going out for an outing. And I'm like, okay, well, as long as we have the beers on ice, I'm good for about like 6 holes. And then I give up there. Or the best thing was I did earlier this year for a friend of mine. They do a charity golf outing, and I actually I did a podcast at the outing. I set up a table at the 18th hole. I was out there in the shade, 7:30 in the morning, had my cooler, had my drinks, and I was sitting there podcasting as people came around the course, giving out some free stuff. I had some swag from Four Loko, sent me some stuff to hand out. I had some of my own koozies, things like that, and just got to hang out there and have some drinks and do a podcast and chat with people as they were going around the course. And I'm like, see, that's my kind of golfing, is just sitting around on a golf course drinking. I'm perfectly fine with that.
I love it.
Actually hitting the ball, no, if I can be there and just relax in the shade in like June, that's perfect. I
mean, PGA should definitely have its own league of people who just sit there and drink.
Yeah, I'm all in for that. If they want to hit me up,
yes,
the offer's on the table. Yeah. So what else do you have going on these days? I mean, what's coming up for you in the pipeline other than the new book coming out?
Just traveling the country, sucking dicks, writing books, being little Sarah. I don't know.
Man, that's the American dream right there. Is that not? I mean, that's like we said, just traveling the country, sucking dicks, writing books. I mean, who doesn't want to follow that mantra? And maybe not exactly with what you're saying, but in their own way, I think that's kind of what we all want, what we all want to strive for in the long run here.
For sure.
Well, hey, Sarah, thank you for coming on the show, hanging out, having a drink, and chatting with me here. Before we wrap things up, you wanna tell everybody where they can find you, and give the book another plug.
Of course. So you can find me online. I'm on Twitter, Sara St Clair XXX. I'm on Instagram, SillySarah91, and OnlyFans.com/Sara St Clair XXX. I have Romance Costs Extra coming out on Amazon December 1st, so make sure you check it out for the best wet dreams of your life.
Hey, the perfect Christmas gift, right in time for the holidays. You nailed
It's
it right there.
Christmas.
Yeah. It's the companion piece. They get the book, then they check out the OnlyFans, and then they get the book, then they have to put 2 and 2 together, and then go look at your content to really see, then really get themselves as if they're part of the book. You want to live vicariously through it. So the perfect Christmas gift for that special someone on your holiday wish list this year.
On the naughty list.
Yeah. Hey. Everybody needs love. The nice list, naughty list. There's a gift out there for everybody.
but remember, hey, Romance Costs Extra.
That's it. That's the book. Be sure to check it out. Hit her up. Give Sarah a follow on all these social medias of the world. Check out all her content out there. And once again, Sarah, thank you for coming on the show here. Best of luck to you with the writing, the content,
and thank
you. Your travels in the country, and all those dicks you'll be sucking in the process. So
you got it. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. She is Miss Sara St Clair. Be sure to check her out. I am Bumwine Bob, and until next time, cheers.
I need a beer.